Welcome back to the Spiritual Spotlight series. Today we're exploring what happens when the life we work so hard to build no longer feels like the life we were meant to live. My guest, Meghann Dawson, is an author, speaker, podcast host, and founder of the Unperfect Life Company, a community devoted to helping people come home to themselves through self trust, wholeness, and honest transformation. For years, Meghann lived a life that made sense on paper. She became skilled at achieving, performing, and shaping herself into the person she believed she needed to be in order to earn love and feel chosen. But beneath the outward success was the growing realization that something did not feel true. That realization became the foundation for her upcoming memoir, Becoming is Messy, a much larger conversation about unraveling old identities, recognizing survival patterns, and beginning again without treating ourselves like broken projects. Meghann, welcome to Spiritual Spotlight series. Meghann, you said that you didn't initially set out to write a book. You set out to understand your life. What were you trying to understand when you first began writing it?
Oh, thank you, Rachel. What a great question to start us with. I was trying to understand the patterns of my life. I carried so much shame and trauma and spiraling. And I found my place when I decided to start just kind of journaling and writing down my story. I started doing it in a place really from a healing perspective and a learning perspective was the impetus for that. Was really kind of the backstory of what started me on the journey of taking a look at my life.
So your life made sense on paper, yet something underneath it never fully settled. How did the disconnect show up before you had the language for it?
Oh gosh, I've my one of my biggest coping mechanisms has always been perfectionism and
Oh.
performance. And so from a very early age, I learned how to be a straight A student. I really prided myself on being the top in the class, the teacher's pet, the person people like, the person that people would turn to for guidance. And so I became this go-to person, and I really wore that hat. And I did that well into my corporate career, well into adulthood, all through college, and then into adulthood and through my career. Yet I was also behind the scenes spiraling, high anxiety, mental struggles, lots of over drinking, lots of body worth issues. So my inside really felt like a mess. And I always had this feeling like if these people knew the real me, which I
Mhm.
know is such a common feeling among people, that whole imposter feeling. And I've had that since I was a very little kid, and that carried me well into adulthood.
I feel like that sense of overperformance, perfectionism, like our self worth gets so tied to how we perform. And yet, that's not really the basis of where our worth should come from. But it's so hard to disconnect from that. And I find it fascinating that you started journaling and really tapping into these patterns of life. And I will say that's something that I definitely resonate with myself because I'm like, why do I feel envy about this? Why do I not cheer on my friend who it's such a it's an I love the fact that you really tapped into this and you wrote a book about it. So we're gonna jump into
Yes.
more of that. So when did you first realize that being successful, needed, or admired was not the same as feeling deeply at home in yourself?
One thing I want to clarify is when I
Sure.
started writing the notes for this book, it was a very personal exercise, and I
Yeah.
was essentially writing, a book for myself. I didn't think it was going to potentially be public. It was just for me.
Yeah.
And I had already found that healing. I was in a healthy place then. I was finally in a healthy relationship, my first time ever in my entire life. And now my husband and I have been married for over 10 years. And so
Oh,
so I found myself in this healthy place. The family was doing great. I had taken care of kind of that
yeah.
mental piece, and I was doing well. So when I look back and I started writing, that's where I was able to start piecing together the beats of my
Yeah.
story. And I realized that it started out in my daughter's nursery room, holding her as a newborn baby. My lifelong knowing, no matter how broken I ever felt, my knowing
Yeah.
was that I would be a mom someday. And lots of twists and turns pointed to otherwise. However, holding her in that nursery, I got for the very first time what I think was my deepest inner voice. Not my
Mm,
inner critic, which is what I knew the most, but this
yeah.
inner voice that said so clearly to me, you need to do better. You are going to pass on the wounds that you've carried onto her. And so
Yeah.
that set me on this journey of multiple life things that essentially made me look at my life in real time. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know you don't just all of a sudden get this voice that says do better, and all of a sudden all of your imperfections go out the window and you know how to do better.
So true.
However, it led to this very deep curiosity about myself.
Mm,
And so I really keep coming back to, and it's so funny, I was just journaling about this today before this call, but my lens of curiosity started shifting me away from shame. And it set me on this path to really start looking through my past in therapy. And so this was 18 years ago, is when my daughter was,
yeah.
I mean, she just turned 18, so that was really what started me on that path. And it took a couple of years kind of going through that curiosity. And now here I am 18 years later. And I would say that I now look at myself through a lens of wonder. I'm
Mm,
always like, wow, in all of the human experience and resilience of my life. And so it was that shift of looking at myself and just changing the lens
yeah.
across all of those years. And so, it's a hard answer to pinpoint exact date of the
Of
shift,
course. Of course.
but it has been, I am an 18-year, work in progress. And
Yeah.
and much of it really was this unfolding of life experiences that led me to shift the lens in which I looked at myself through.
I really like the idea of lens of wonder. That's really like, wow, like having an attitude of curiosity is so different than being judgmental and being in shame and,
Mhm.
unraveling those little stories within us. So you write about learning to perform for love. What does performing for love actually look like in everyday relationships?
Oh, well, my performing for love started unfortunately when I was very little. I mean,
Mm,
fourth grade, fifth grade, probably even younger. Like I just very much, I grew up in a household with an abusive father. I had severe medical trauma and medical disfigurement, and but I had a pretty enough face that got attention, and so I learned that in secret, people would pick me. And
oh,
that became a theme of my young adult life. I mean, my young childhood, well into my early 30s.
mm,
Very much believing that somebody like me could only be chosen in secret. And
oh,
so for
wow.
me, performance looked like, being the person that people cheated on their girlfriend with and then didn't talk to at school.
Yeah,
Performance for me looked like, making out with a friend's older cousin, and not being able to tell anybody about it. And then
yeah,
the next day being around him and his girlfriend. And then eventually, having crushes on people I worked with and eventually having affairs with those people.
yeah.
And so it was a deep-seated feeling that people like me don't get the love story that's out there. And so we have to take the scraps that somebody's willing to give to us. That's
Yeah,
really, I feel like, how performance showed up throughout my life.
that's fascinating. And I also appreciate the fact that you're so open and vulnerable about like discussing, these things that a lot of us don't feel comfortable in sharing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did go through this as a child, adult, and this is how I was able to transform my life. So I commend you for being vulnerable about that. And I think I'm going to know the answer to this question, but we're still going to ask
Please.
it. Can someone appear confident,
Mhm.
capable, and independent while still making most of their choices from a fear of rejection or abandonment?
100%, yes. I mean, that was me. Yeah, I feel I would be lying if I said that this book coming out doesn't make me a little nervous. I very much
Mm,
have been telling these stories for a while now, but this will be the most. I mean, the book really goes much deeper into these kinds of stories.
yeah,
But I think it's so important because I have yet to meet one single person that has not had messiness to their life. And I
absolutely.
believe it's my personal mission to help us release the stigma tied to that. And
Yeah.
so, yes, for much of my life, I was celebrated for my success, for my performance, and I loved it. I ate that up. I was the valedictorian in eighth grade. I was in my top 10 of my high school class,
Wow.
and that mattered to me. But then
Yeah.
there was this other part of me, and that was equally surviving, just like the perfectionism. I also
Mm.
had alcohol, like way so much alcohol abuse, and these stories with boys and men, and they are all interwoven into my survival strategies.
Yeah.
And I just want to release that belief that just because the me that was able to look like I was
Hmm.
this healthy person, the person that was messing up behind the scenes and hurting is just as worthy. And I want her
Absolutely.
story to be told and loved just as much as the person that was put on this pedestal.
So, how does perfectionism become less about high standards and more about controlling how other people see us?
Oh, for me, it was simply ingrained.
Mm.
And I feel like it's very common for so many of us women that we grow up with these standards of perfectionism all around us. And
Mhm.
I believe we've been sold ideals that are for a masculine community. I don't
Yeah.
believe we have a lot of true modeling of what full, strong femininity looks like.
Mm.
And so I believe that we're trying to fit ourselves, kind of force fit ourselves into a world that wasn't created for and largely by us.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's just an ingrained behavior that I find I rarely find women that don't have a little bit of that within them, where it's just kind of something that's a part of who they've grown to be.
Right.
I think
It,
maybe I would add to that is
yeah.
now that I am a parent, and so a difference in our household is we are a blended family, my daughter,
Mhm.
and then we have my husband's two children, and all now young adults and
I love
late
it.
teenagers. And in our household, the way that I changed that really was from a very early age, having language that was specific to understanding each
Yeah.
child on their
Yeah.
own and pinpointing their unique gifts, their unique strength, and
Yeah.
really honing in on what makes them them first. It's that
I love that.
idea, wholeness of who you are first
Right.
before you try to fit this mold into a world before you even know who you are.
Absolutely. I also have a blended family with my partner, and it's definitely, and we also have age differences. So it's, and I really respect the fact that you're meeting your kids where they're at, and you're
Mm.
recognizing them as individuals, and I like that you use a specific language for each one of them. I'll say that's probably how our family is as well, to a point, because we have all boys. I'm the only female, so
Yeah.
it's been an interesting ride, my friend.
Yes. Oh, I feel it. Oh gosh.
It's like,
Well, I'll let you borrow the girls for a weekend too.
please.
I feel
I'd be
like
like,
they
what?
have their
I don't
own.
even I don't even know what it would be like to. I was like, wait, I'm
Yes.
a yeah.
Oh,
Even our
yeah.
animals are boys. Like, we have no
Yeah.
other. I'm left to my own.
Right.
I'm left to my own devices.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Rachel, though, I would be curious because this is an
Sure,
observation I have
I love
with
this.
the three boys.
Yeah,
I would say so for me, I believe that one of my kind of purposes here
yeah.
is to raise feminine power, feminine energy.
I love that.
However, I believe that that's not a man or woman thing. I believe that every
Agree.
human, so I think
Yeah,
it's just that feminine energy. And
yeah,
so, thinking of you in a household of boys,
yeah,
and just knowing the work that you do, right?
yeah.
I
It's so
have a
funny.
belief that there is some of that angle within the conversations and the way you've thought about raising your boys in this
I
world.
will say that I have focused on one, respecting the partners that they're with. I find it,
Mhm.
it's really important to raise men that treat relationships with respect and well, also while tapping into their own emotional vulnerabilities and their
Yes.
sensitive sides. And I
Yes.
will say that, and also honoring the fact that men also are allowed to express their emotions, talk about how
Yes.
they're feeling, talk about things that bother them. and meeting them where they're at. I will say my younger son, he's a very emotionally intelligent individual for only being 17. And it's fascinating to me because he'll come in and I'm like, listen, guys, like this is what I'm observing.
Right?
And I'm like, preach. Like,
Right? Oh my gosh. Oh,
and
I
it's
love
fun.
that. It is
Yeah, it's
so
fun.
fun. It's so
And
fun. Yeah, so my daughter, so kind of spoiler alert, but the book starts in the nursery. I mean,
oh,
that
I love
really
that.
was the catalyst for
Yeah,
it does then go backwards into my life story and then
of
forward
course.
into what all those things that changed within me to learn to love myself. My daughter is now she just turned 18.
I love
I
that.
drop her off in Boston. I live in
Oh,
Wisconsin. I drop her off in 3 weeks in college, the same week that the book goes on sale. And it
oh, I have
just
chills.
feels like I could cry right now, but it really feels like this very full circle journey because just what
Yeah,
you're describing in your son,
yeah. It's
it's
very
like, oh,
cathartic.
it's
It's very
cathartic and
healing.
full circle in that
Yeah,
the book also touches on my mom. She was a teenage mom, and so there's also kind of this whole the three of us and the cycle of mothers
yeah,
and hardship and not passing on trauma, But we have this belief that we're going to bring these little humans into the world and we're going
yeah,
to impart all of our wisdom on them.
yeah.
And in reality, they in return like grow us.
Yes,
I really do
absolutely.
credit my daughter and all of
Yeah,
the ways she's taught me how to truly love myself has
yeah.
come from loving her.
I love that. I will say that it's I have my son, he's 27, and then
Mm.
I have a 17-year-old, and I was 21 when I had my first son. And so I felt like with us we kind of raised each other,
Yeah, oh,
you know.
definitely.
And then
Yes.
with my 17-year-old, so I see exactly. I definitely feel like we're meant to be like we're meant to model right behavior, and we're mirrors. And it's fascinating. I love the fact that your book is coming out when you take your daughter to Boston. I love
Right?
that. What school
I'm
is she
on
going to?
design.
I'm nosy.
She's going to Boston University. She's
I
so
love
excited. Yes.
I'm in upstate New York,
Oh,
so please let her know if she needs anything to reach out to me because I love Boston.
I will do. Everybody in the region, I'm like, please,
You're like, okay, here's the
yes.
phone
You
numbers.
you
It's
got a
so okay.
network of people, so
I
yes.
love that. I love that.
Yes.
And amazing for her for, willing to leave the nest and to be her own little bird. I love
Right?
that.
Wow, it's
I love
incredible to
it.
watch. So it's exciting.
Oh my goodness. I feel like we talk about our kids the rest of the time. But
Right.
I do want to shift a little bit.
Sure.
So you entered life already navigating physical pain and vulnerability.
Mhm.
How do you believe that those early experiences shaped the way that you understood safety, worth, and belonging?
Gosh, it reminds me so much. My grandma tells me this story. So I was born to a 16-year-old mom and then caught an infection right at birth. That wasn't caught right away and it ended up wreaking havoc. And so I've had tons of surgeries and bone
Wow.
disfigurement and so my whole life. And one of the first doctors that took a look at my case looked at my grandparents who were with my mom, who was also a kid, and basically said to her, gosh, just so you know, I could cry right now, but just so you
Oh,
know, people that experience this kind of hardship with their bodies turn into the kindest souls. And I feel like that couldn't be further. I mean, it's so true. It's just
yeah.
where it humbles you to be given right out of the gate
Yeah.
a life that is going to be struggle and strife. And yet you still don't lose that inner knowing. No
Right.
matter how much it gets buried in people making fun of you or bullying you or using you, there's still something inside of you that just keeps reminding you that you are worthy. And I just carried that with me. And I had this feeling deep down inside that I was meant for something. I didn't know what that
Oh, I
meant
love
when I was
that.
5. I didn't know what that meant when I was 10. I
Yeah.
still don't always know now. I'm still following that little voice, and I had to
Yeah.
dust it off, and really get to it after that inner critic took over. But for me, it really has propelled me when people back in the day, also my grandma was the number one person that would always want to say, oh, poor Megan. Oh, poor Megan. Oh, poor you. And I couldn't stand that. Even
Yeah.
from it's because it's just that it was my experience. I knew nothing different. And so
Right.
there's something about living the life that's yours to live that
Right.
nobody else can understand your struggles and what it feels like to be you to overcome. And there's power in that, there's love in that. And
Absolutely.
so I've
Absolutely.
always just had that propulsion to want to be something. And part of that was probably unhealthy at times, but I feel like once I started learning to love myself, I
Mhm.
believe that that stayed and has become a very healthy motivation to want to have purpose in my life.
And I like that you resonated with the fact that being those words spoken wasn't empowering to you. And
Mm-mm.
it was like, no, we're going to flip the script here. Like, this is my
Yes,
life to
yes.
live. I like that.
Yes, I never wanted to be viewed as a victim or wanted people to feel sorry for me.
Right.
Looking back, I did want people to see me, and I didn't
Right.
have that life.
Right.
So there was this desire for something
Mhm.
from other people, but I feel like I kind of got there because I could really see people. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of like there is these gifts within us, no matter how hard the external circumstances of our life is, there's these gifts within us that are
So
kind of
true.
there for us to like learn into if we're able to follow that kind of inner knowing that we can't really
Mhm.
understand.
So, what has healing taught you about listening to the body without allowing pain or fear to become the sole author of your identity?
I feel like what it's taught me is that I am me. And me has nothing to do with the pain, the body. Me is the soul within all of that. My
I
body
love
is
that.
just the vehicle that I'm riding in. And I've gotten one that's a little bit of a beater sometimes. But, it doesn't define who the me
Yeah.
is in my core. And so there's nothing at this point, after like many years of healing, there's nothing at this point that ever makes me feel unworthy as that me. Now, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean I have days that are hard. I have
Of
days,
course.
I have a lot of exhaustion because of the pain in my body.
Mhm. Mhm.
But when I used to, like 20 years ago, I used to heed the call and I used to try to push through that.
Right.
Now I learn that no matter what, that soul needs tending to, and I follow what it tells me it needs.
I
And
like that.
so it's given me power to really listen to what it's telling me it needs
Yeah.
because I trust it so, so much.
I like that. So your book is titled Becoming is Messy. What part of becoming do you think we romanticize? And what does the real process look like behind closed doors?
Mm. I think we romanticize the end, the crossing the finish line.
The outcome.
We always love, we say we love a comeback story, and we do love it when we watch a movie.
Right.
Yet, we've been taught that it's taboo to talk about the journey to get to the finish line.
Yes.
We've, for some reason, and this is one that I just don't understand where along the way this became something to be ashamed of. All of us are given this moment in life, you're given a soul and you're given no roadmap and you're just told to figure it out. And everything's stacked against you. And so figuring it out for all of us looks messy. And
Yeah.
so it's like now it's like that's really so the whole concept of becoming is messy is to
Yeah.
fill in those dots. Let's not just celebrate the fact that you're valedictorian. Let's talk about what it took to get there. Let's talk
Right.
about the times you felt less than, the times that you lied, the times that you struggled, because there's people that aren't at that finish line yet. There's people that
Yeah.
are in that struggle
Yeah.
and they don't realize that all these people celebrating their wins we're just like them at some point in their journey, and they don't know it
Absolutely.
because we're not able to talk about it.
It's so true. It's like watching those TikTok videos when someone fast forwards cleaning their house. And it's like we start from the beginning all the way to the end and it's a 12-second video. And it's like, no, that took 6 days.
Yeah,
Like, or
right.
maybe 6 years. Like, like we
Exactly.
don't recognize it. So when someone has spent years looking outside of themselves for permission, validation, or reassurance, how do they begin rebuilding self-trust?
Number one is coming back to that inner voice. I have found across the last couple of years talking about
Yeah.
this topic, I found that so many people really don't even know the difference between their inner critic and their inner voice. And so
I'm sure.
number one is getting to just have some awareness about
Yeah.
it. Really start with just noticing. It's kind of back to that curiosity. Eventually we're going to get to wonder, but just starting with some curiosity about yourself.
Yeah.
Pick one area of your life. Don't try to solve it all at once, but pick one area that maybe feels a little bit misaligned, not where exactly where you would like it to be, and
Yeah.
look at that area of your life through the lens of where do I feel in particular that is giving me the most stress, and start kind of toning in there and start thinking back, and then just getting quiet with yourself and start seeing just kind of what comes through, and start
Yeah.
noticing what feels like peace to you when you
Mm.
think of kind of this disconnectedness and you get still. What comes through that feels clear and comforting, and then
Yeah.
just listen to it, and you kind of just keep on honing that cycle of noticing, getting still, listening, and just following the advice. And if you
Yeah.
keep on focusing on that, it really does start outlaying your exact steps to keep moving forward.
We're going to dig in a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, how can we tell the difference between intuitive knowing and the voice of fear, conditioning, or the inner critic?
Mm. Fear, the inner critic, feels like anxiety. It doesn't feel good in your body. It feels like somebody that's making you small inside your head. It's like this
Yeah.
inner nag. It also, I've heard this before, and it's true to me. I don't know if it's true for everybody, but I've heard that the inner critic often feels like a question. Like,
Mm.
oh, are you sure you can finish that? Oh, are you really sure that outfit's gonna look good on you? Are you sure you can afford that? It kind of feels like this annoying question doubting you, where your inner knowing feels calm and
Yeah.
certain and peaceful. And it is a statement. It is
100%.
telling you, yeah, it's time to leave the job. It's
Yeah.
telling you it's time to take the class. It's time to go on the vacation. It's a definitive. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, it feels scary still. It's still, because a lot of times, especially when you've been ignoring it your whole life, the things that it's saying
Hmm.
feel scary, feel big,
Yeah.
However, they are definitive. And so if it feels like too much, I just suggest sitting with it and talking back to it, whether it's in
Yeah.
your head. I do it out loud now, just having a conversation with it, like honoring it. I know that's true, but it's too much. How do I start?
Mm.
And just
Yeah.
starting to get some definitive steps on just little baby steps, because the movement towards it is going to make it easier to get to. You don't have to do it all at once.
No, and I will say that I'm gonna take fear just one step further. One, we just had like we must be under a massive like thunderstorm because
Oh,
like it's fine, but thunder just struck as you're explaining the fear, and I was like, oh yeah,
yeah, right.
it
It's like
startled me.
this fear is coming in to be like,
Yeah.
don't let the secrets out, ladies.
But I will say, what I've been taught is fear is false expectations appearing real.
Yeah.
So, and then when
Yeah.
you can take that away, it's like, okay, it's fine. We're okay.
Yes,
And I
it's
really like how
true.
you said that.
Yes.
So, what did you have to forgive yourself for as you looked back at decisions made by an earlier version of you?
I had to forgive all of the stuff with boys and men. That for
Oh,
me
yeah.
has been it's the trauma of my life, I would say.
Mm,
And it started, I have lots of dad stories that are not great. And so I had that father wound, which is a very deep one, and could be a whole other topic someday. But that hole that it led in me, it just
mm,
became this wound that was such a
yeah.
spiraling kind of recurring theme that, I still sometimes, and it's probably what I'm most nervous about in the book is just,
Yeah.
get putting out into the world some of
Getting
those
that there.
stories with details in them that our society views so harshly,
Yeah.
and I believe unfairly, because to me, it's just a symptom, just like a million other symptoms. But for
Right.
some reason, this topic, especially women that behave this way, is just viewed in such a way that it feels very Scarlet Letter like. And so
Yeah.
I very much had that scarlet letter for so long. And I'll
Right.
tell you, one of the things that really became so healing for me again comes back to parenting and my kids. And I say for people, even if you don't have your own kids, there's something, this was really kind of the next step that came for me in my own
Hmm.
healing, was being able to look back across my life through the lens that I would use for the children in my life that I love. Right. So if you're able, and it came organically, it didn't come as a
Yeah.
framework, which it is now, but it came
Yeah.
to me just through loving my children and then seeing them at ages where I was, where I
Right.
was drinking, where I was doing things with boys that were far above my age. And I
Right.
looked at them and I wanted to, I felt like hugging my inner self because
Yeah.
I was finally able to look and be like, wow, I was so little, like who am I to keep being
I was
mad
a
at this
baby.
little baby who was just trying to be loved?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that wound has been one that has been a lifetime struggle
Um,
for me, but this process and talking about it and owning it, I
yeah.
think that's another big part of my kind of mission and lesson is healing it first. Not
Yeah.
everybody is owed your story. Not everybody
True.
needs to come on a podcast and talk about it. However, having trusted people in your life eventually that you
Hmm.
can talk about this with and realize
Absolutely.
that the whole world isn't going to turn on you, is really a very freeing exercise.
I find it fascinating, and as you're talking about your own kids, I'm going back to my son and like my life at his age now and what I was at. It's vastly different. It's so different. So, do you believe that we need to completely understand our past before we can move forward? Excuse me. Or can healing begin simply choosing differently today? I'm
Oh,
dying.
yes, yes. You want to get some water? Yeah, wait a second. I'll take a sip too. I'm going to take a sip real quick. Okay. All right. So for me, now I have to remind myself what the question was.
Whenever
Remind
a
me.
lot of
I lost
energy
track a
comes
little.
in,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about
whenever a
that.
lot of energy comes in, it's like we got to release
I
it.
got it just distracted my brain. Yeah,
I
okay,
love
I
it.
remember now. So, yep. So can we just, choose to heal versus do we have to understand our past? My experience has been the understanding of the past was necessary for me. And it doesn't have to be a replaying of every single thing. It doesn't have to be digging in. Not everybody has to write a book about their whole life. However, there are for people that need to heal, for people that are kind of having these things, cycles that they come back to where they're spiraling and continually repeating negative patterns. Looking at the root of those patterns is a critical point. However, some people do find that doing it energetically, and what I mean by that is things like craniosacral therapy, body work, Reiki healing. So not everything has to be done through the mind.
Very true.
I personally did do years of talk therapy, and that helped me really with that compassionate lens.
Mhm.
But for everybody, that's not always the step you have to go to. So some people, for some reason, the talk therapy just never gets it out, and people aren't always able to talk about it, but that energy work really does. I've had to use both. I've done a mix of all of the tools I can try. It
Yeah,
has worked for me, but there is something that needs to release that energy, and so it's going to look a little different for everybody. But I do believe we have to unstick that energy from the past that's creating the pattern in the moment.
absolutely. I will say that the body keeps the score,
Exactly.
and we're energetic beings. Energy follows intention. And if we really have to look within to start, unblocking, unsticking, releasing that energetic debris that's stuck on us.
Yeah, and it's
And
so
that's,
helpful. I love the idea now when I get triggered with something. A coach of mine one time taught me this, where when she gets triggered by something, it's like oh, and it's something for me in particular. One that really gets to me
mm,
is when, especially my daughters, but even my friends as an adult, do something where I feel left out, and it brings me
mm,
back to the mean girls. in high school
Oh,
and middle
yes.
school. Like Mean Girls in middle school are another part of one of my deep wounds,
Yeah.
and it's a deep one. And
Of
so
course.
now when I get that feeling, instead of instantly reacting and getting so offended and getting
Yeah.
defensive, I pause and I think, oh, it's just 12-year-old me. There she
I
is,
love that.
and just recognizing her and letting it go. And it just
I
kind
love
of
that.
helps you just have a framework to work
Yeah.
through it. And I think the difference of beating it up, I feel like
Yeah.
healing to me looks like when you can start getting to a point where you don't get stuck in that narrative.
Mm,
You can just kind of
absolutely.
look at it and be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was that day in seventh grade, and just you kind of look at it and it no
Yeah.
longer has that hold over you.
Yeah. We refer to it as like energetic gnats. Like
Yes.
they're
Oh,
just like spider webs and it's like,
exactly.
okay, let it go. But
Exactly. It
I
is.
have such the opposite of being invited to have phobia, fear of being invited.
Oh, I have that
I'm
too.
like,
Depending. I have the same. I have the same. I'll tell you though, the best is with healing is
yeah,
me now. No is my favorite word.
same.
I am a big, like, if it's not an F yeah,
Then
it's
it's
a
a
no.
thank you, but no.
Thank you, but no. It's a thank you, but no. Maybe it is sometimes, and maybe next time if I feel so inclined to say that because
Yeah,
I feel like that. But most of the time, a simple thank you, but no. That is my default now, and that
I
has
love it.
taken me many years to get to the point where I can be the one that does that.
I respect that you have boundaries in place and you're okay that no can be a full sentence. I
Oh
love
my
that.
gosh. And we also have agreements with our group of girlfriends.
Oh,
And there's
yay.
no girlfriend in my life now who's remained. The people that we've all kind of grown together and people have fallen
Right.
away along the way, but
Of
the people
course.
that have remained and they're different pockets of friends, but we all have an agreement. You can cancel your plans any single time. It can be right up until the moment. It's just,
Absolutely.
friends, we're here as support and we're additive to
Right.
others' lives. And if there's something that's going on in your life where all of a sudden your gut, it's like we all are like, no, your gut makes the call in your life. And we don't take that
Absolutely.
personal.
Oh, I love that. So, what does living an unperfect life mean to you now, and how is it different from giving up on growth or accountability?
Oh my gosh, I love this. So, an unperfect life is my philosophy, and an unperfect life is essentially a perfect life designed on your own terms. This really goes back to what I was talking about with our kids and helping
Yeah,
starting first with them, knowing who they are first before we try to help guide them in the world. I feel like we have it opposite. I feel like all of us are being invited to wholly know ourselves and then
yeah,
once you do that, designing your life and your goals around that. And so for me now, my goals are the biggest they've ever been. I am now an entrepreneur. I now have a book. I'm trying to do public speaking. I'm doing my own business development. I mean, my
I love
goals are
it.
as big as they've ever been.
Yeah,
However, there's an ease to it because they're mine. They're being shaped by my soul. They're being
yeah,
shaped by my gifts, my healing. Everything in me is designing my life. And so, because of that, it's removed the performative nature of me
I love
because
that.
at the end of the day, my biggest measurement is how authentic I am. That is my biggest measurement. And
I love
that
that.
is what I want for the world. I think that authenticity is something that's so missing right now because we've
Yeah,
outsourced defining success to corporate America. And so if we instead
some
take
metrics, some
the
measures.
metrics and numbers and making other people wealthy, and it's time that we regain that and we design our own life that's rooted in our authenticity.
I love that. So, for the listener whose life looks perfectly fine from the outside, but feels increasingly unfamiliar on the inside, what is one honest question you would invite them to ask themselves today?
Mm, gosh, what a question. What is one honest question? Hmm. Does my life feel true to me?
I love that.
Does my life feel true to me?
Yeah. Before I ask you the last question, can you please tell us when the pre-launch of your book is, when the launch of your book is, and where's the best place to start purchasing it?
Yes.
Because
So
this will be out before your pre-launch starts.
yeah, oh, great, perfect. So the pre-launch opens August 15th. Yes, and so The best place and so the book releases in December. Actually August, I'm sorry, mixing these up. August 21st is the book release, is the book pre-launch, and the
Nice.
release is December 15th.
Nice.
And the best place right now is honestly my website because you can just sign up to be notified of all of the different links as they come live. Go ahead. Do you have a
And
question?
I think you have different levels of purchasing, like for like the gifts that you're offering, or maybe
I
not.
yep,
Maybe I'm correct. I could be. Never
yes,
mind.
not yet.
Maybe
Not
some
yet.
people do.
There's
Maybe
some
some
ideas on
people
that. So
do.
if some people have ideas on that, go for it. But I feel like I haven't crafted those yet since we are just kind of building the marketing campaign, but I will maybe you're getting an intuitive hit that I should build
I'm
that.
like, listen, you need to
Uh,
have no. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm hoping to find some groups of people. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, and I am hoping to, find some women that would like to tie it into one of their book clubs.
oh
And I would love to
yeah,
visit some book clubs and help facilitate that because, the book itself, Becoming is Messy, is really my origin story.
yeah.
So, it's actually part of a three-book trilogy called the Unperfect Life Trilogy. And
Oh,
so what started out as me just, doing my own journal has now kind of launched into book one being
I
published
love
by
it.
Kohler Books. And so that'll be another place. Actually,
Yeah,
in about a month, you'll be able to vote on the cover of the book. And so if anybody's kind of interested in helping
nice.
kind of shape the sausage making of it,
I love that.
but so Becoming is Messy turned into part of my origin story because when I started writing it as a real book, I realized, gosh, there's just so much to my backstory that
Yeah,
one book just it did not contain it. And
I
so
love it.
book one is Becoming is Messy, book two is Choosing is Courageous.
Oh, I love that.
And that one, oh my gosh, like that, such a curveball. After book one ends, it's like,
Yeah,
and I'll just give a little teaser, you think you finally hit a plateau in life, you have it figured out.
yeah.
I got into the healthy marriage, the family's doing great, I'm loving my work, and then life comes in and just it's like, oh, really? You think you
Just
got it
kidding.
figured out? Like, here you go. And so it just makes you test everything we've just talked about.
Yeah,
I am constantly being invited through the universe, through life, to
yeah.
put my words to the test. Do I
I
truly
love that.
believe in what I'm saying? And so choosing is
Yeah,
courageous. And then book three is actually out now. Book three is unfolding in real time. I'm having so
yeah,
much fun with this. It's unfolding in real time on Substack. And
yeah.
it's kind of it's called Being is Enough. And so
Okay.
instead of the backstory, it's
Yeah,
actually now me living in the moment of living those lessons
love that.
and just kind of sharing some essays
Yeah.
as they come
Oh, that's
of the way
perfect.
that life is throwing me curveballs and how I'm showing up now that I love myself and now that I'm showing up
Oh,
authentically and not
yeah.
giving in to kind of the traditional American dream, what that truly looks like for me.
I love that. So, to wrap this up, what is one message you hope our listeners carry with them after this conversation?
Mm, the world gets better, and the world gets better as you become more you.
I love that. Meghann, thank you so much for coming on the Spiritual Spotlight series. I'm very excited for book one, book two, and that book three is already launched on Substack. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks, Rachel.